Here we are, part 2 of whatever it is we're doing. You managed.
Yeah.
Let's blend it. Okay, so part 2. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Right, so got a little list because there's so much. You have been through so much. It's totally ridiculous. And we got to where you were 12 in your bed, had the needle thing in your back, and pulled it out. Right, okay, so that's where we got to. So the next thing is when you saw them, and we've actually got some images of this because Bill H. Burt, R.I.P. Bill, he actually did the artwork, did some artwork, didn't he? So
Yeah.
I found that not long ago, so I'll actually put that somehow. I'll figure it out.
Put the pictures up so you can see them from my perspective.
So, tell us what happened that day.
Aliens in Garden.
Aliens in Garden.
Well, I don't even know. I don't even know. I hadn't gone to bed. I hadn't done. It kind of just come to me, this one. So it wasn't like I was 12. Remember it from 12. It's later on in life. And it just thought it was there. And I was in my room, in here. This is my grandma's. I don't know if I've told you before. It's my grandma's old house, is this. So I've lived here since on and off since I was 6. So I lived a bit at my mum's, bit here, but we're all on the same street because my mum worked full time and we had to go somewhere basically. So anyway, my grandma's. And where I'm sat now is the table that I've got now. Was the table that were there, when I was 12. So that window there, this is in the daytime that I'm remembering it. I've gone to the window there and it were really hot, it were really sunny, and I know it sounds it's like I'm jumping, but I'm not. It's because I can't remember little bits in between anyway. So there I am at the window and I see 3 children in my garden, and I was like, why are the 3 kids like they were like kneeling down, and they all had what looked like the same sort of coat with the hoods up. And because I pulled the curtain back there and pulled the net curtain back, and I'm like, what are they doing in my garden? And when I kept kind of looking round like this, see, trying to get my mum's attention or my sister's or my grandma's, because I know it was a Sunday because that's the only time when we all sat together at table. And it's like, why have they all got I remember my grandma having this coat on. I know she had it, but she had it for years. It was a black and white dog check, but it was big sort of dog check pattern, and it had big black buttons, and on a left pocket, I remember it was a bit torn. It when you put too much in your pocket or whatever, it tears down at bottom. And the stitching had come undone. So there a bit of a tear like that, because I always used to think, I wish my nan had sewed that coat up, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it had like this sort of rounded collar. And it were a winter coat, bearing in mind it's red hot summer outside, so nothing made sense. My sister had like a polo neck, really thick ribbed polo neck. It was right itchy material because my mum bought me one at the same time, and I remember her buying it from Marks and Spencer's because she always wanted to dress us like twins. So I needed to wear hers and I won't wear mine because it itched. Anyway, so she had this blue ribbed. It had like speckles on it. I can't think of what I can't think of life what my mum had on, but I remember I had a thick jumper on as well, and I had some like, it wasn't an itchy jumper, but I had some like rusty coloured cords that were like fit and flare. I wish I had them now because I'd be like that. So anyway, they were gorgeous, these cords. Anyway, forget the cords bit. So they're all doing their own thing, chatting away between them. And it kind of, everything kind of, it wasn't real. It wasn't, the atmosphere were like, it were like I was looking through a pane of fuzzy glass. Even though I was looking at my mum and my grandma and my sister, it were very fuzzy. Like a bit like an hologram, sort of that. And but when I looked outside, everything were like a normal, this reality sort of thing. So I kept looking at these, what I thought were children in my garden, and then I kept looking this way, and then I looked at them. It looked like, when I was looking at them, it looked like they were messing about with something that I couldn't see at that moment. But I know that they were observing something between them. So I just couldn't work it out. So I was trying to get my mum's attention, and I was saying, Mum, come and look at these kids in garden. I thought, well, I'm not going out. They might beat me up, you know what I mean? So it was like, I was thinking, right, so I'm looking out a window saying, Mum, come and look at these kids in garden. And it was like, well, is she coming or not? So I'd look back and they're still talking, carrying on. And I went, Mum, come and look at these. And it was like, no, nothing whatsoever.
Not acknowledging you.
Not acknowledging me. It were like, it were me that were on out. I know I was solid, you know what I mean? But the way that it were like they didn't see me, but I could see them. Like, you know, one of them mirrors that they have in police station where you can look at.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And I was just totally confused. It went on for a few minutes looking at this and shouting, and then I thought, right, well, they're not going to help me. You know what I mean? The only way I can see what they're doing is to go to the letterbox. She's just there. And different door now, but the letterbox is now at the bottom, whereas it were in the middle. Yeah. So I could kneel down, open it up, because I knew what I used to do with that little sod when I was younger. And I used to kneel down, open letterbox, and if anyone walked past, I'd shout obscene names. Get right to it. So anyway, I just think, those are kneels down. Nobody were paying attention whatsoever. So, weird. So I opens this letterbox, and what I saw was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen then. You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen some bizarre shit going on, but this was one
you were
of them.
12 when all this was going on.
Yeah. And I knew by the clothes that I were wearing, because I remember wearing them when I was 12, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking out, and what I see straight away is, first thing was fingers, you know, right, long, spindly, bony knuckles. And it was like as if my eyes had zoomed in, and I could see, like I said before, the immaculate cut fingernails, very short, immaculately filed. So I would always, for some reason, I'm always drawn to these fingernails. I don't know what it is, whether it's a distraction or what. But then it's the fingers I see, and then the brown, it looks like Essien sack robe.
Mm-hmm.
Hessian sack, but a darker brown, or a monk's.
Habit.
Yeah, and the bell sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 3 of these kneeling down, and then I noticed that they had like a gold rope around the centre of them, which were all knotted to the left side of them. And so one was facing me, the other 2 were like that. So I could see all of them, but I couldn't see the faces. And what I saw them playing, well, it was a old fidelity record player where you took the lid off and it were red. And so I don't know where the lid were, I can't see that bit, but then I'm seeing that one of them has got the stylus and he's going like that and pricking his finger with it. Then the other one has the plug and, the prongs is, looking at it and trying to figure out. And then the other one was, it could have made music, who were messing about with slip mat. It was so, it was like as if I saw something
random.
Totally random, yeah, why a record player and the red one at that. And then I'm drawn into like these fingers again, and then I thought, and then one of them put its head up. That's oh my God, I felt sick. I mean, I can even see it now. It's the slow motion up, looks directly at me. The hood kind of comes down like this. It's kind of open bitty, and you know what I mean. Yeah. And all I see is the big black eyes. Now, these were the tan-coloured ones with a very wrinkly skin. I mean, tan, tan has got a kind of reddy tinge to it, so, or an orangey tinge or yellowy tinge, but this is more of a browny tinge, if you know what I mean. So I was just horrified, absolutely horrified when I saw the face of this thing. Next minute, it goes boom, 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 and it's right 2 inches away from my face, these eyes. And I could feel I'm going, dizzy, 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 dizzy. Boom, I'm gone. That's it. That is it. So I have no idea what the hell that were all about. The fidelity record player. Yeah.
Probably wasn't a record player.
No. And then I don't even think I were actually in this environment. Now you look back at it and you think, well, all that time I was, thinking, yeah, we're in my grandma's house. And then you think, hang on, where did this pick up from? And why were they ignoring me when I'm shouting them, come on and have a look, with these kids in the garden. And so, the thing is, it's like, I could see them, they couldn't see me, but it was more like looking back now, it's more like a hologram effect, but not as hologrammy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know that other people have kind of had these weird insertions, whatever they are. Brett Oldham, he had one where it was his stepdad. Anne Andrews had one where her dog was there, but both of those had died, so it was impossible. So but it was a real kind of situation, but how they were interacting with like people or animals that had died.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to tell people that these things are not dreams, and I understand why they think that they are dreams.
Yeah.
The difference between being asleep and awake and dreaming, and
the difference. You totally know the difference. It's very rare that I dream nowadays, but I do dream a lot when I've got a fever. I don't know why. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I had a dream the other night, and I knew it when I woke up. I knew it was a dream. But when I have these, they're not dreams. They're not. You just know they're not.
Oh.
You know, it totally different things. The way that you feel, you know, and how you can control stuff while you're in control.
Mm. And I've had lucid dreams as well, so I know what they are, and I know the difference.
Yeah.
The flying dreams, and
Yeah.
you're aware that you're asleep and you're flying. You
Mm.
know, like that out of body kind of. And then I've thought, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't woken up, because normally as soon as you realise, you wake up. But I've
Yeah.
had time. So, but that's like being asleep and being awake in your dream. I know what that is.
What you mean? Yeah. Yeah. And then you think, we're sleeping or we're dreaming. Where are you? A dream.
Yeah.
And you just, you know.
Yeah, I
But
had a really random one. I remember walking down a corridor, and it was like old Formica tables. You remember the plastic panels that they had in walls that were like that, and they were joined together with a strip? It was like that, and it was kind of yellowy. And I don't know what made me do it, but I stuck my arms out, and they went straight through the walls, like through the walls, not real. But I felt the tingle go all over my body from putting my arms into whatever it was that was creating this illusion. Dreams, you find it hard to remember them, and there's something different about these things, but they're so random.
yeah.
You can't say that they're anything, can you? You know.
Yeah, reality, is it? So it's going to be totally random, and
Yeah.
I mean, the things that I've gone through, I couldn't even now. I couldn't even imagine that sort of shit. I've been making millions of pounds, making movies and that, doing a Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I ain't got that sort of imagination. Something's got me, hasn't it?
Yeah. So you had three kind of tan, wrinkly aliens wearing brown robes, and they had a golden cord around the waist, tied at the left. It's interesting. I can't remember why, but I remember in Kung Fu we always had to tie our sash on the left, and I've forgotten why that is. Right, I'll have to ask Google God, and might be something to it. It's got to be to do with energy, you know.
Yeah.
Just has to be, because that's all Kung Fu is. It's about energy.
So
I
don't know. That's interesting. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. Right. So then after that one, we skipped forward to your 19.
Age 19 and the rugby ball. Oh, right. Okay.
Before we go on, I actually want to say that the one that you've just told about seeing through the letterbox, you were 12 when it happened, but you were 25 when you remembered it.
Something like that, yeah. It's something like that. I know it will later on. So
yeah. So in your mid-20s.
I'm sure it was 25. I'm sure.
Well, it doesn't really matter, but it was just a case of like because our memories come back at weird times. You know,
I remember them at the exact time it happened, or I remember them later on in life.
And I've had it, and I've thought, how the hell could I have forgotten that? How can you forget things like that? You know, like it's like being slapped.
Yeah. It's just well, all of it's fucking weird, isn't it? So
yeah, but we're never going to know what it is.
No.
The actuality is probably unknowable, and I'm not even sure that I really want to know what. I'm a bit nervous about what it all might be. And I don't want disclosure. I know this is not going to be a popular thing, but if we all acknowledge everything, then, because I've obviously been terrified and they scared the bejeebus out of me, It's like open season then. Do you know what I mean? All bets are off. No hold barred. They're interacting, doing whatever, and it isn't going to be like it is on Star Trek when everybody's dead polite and they all look nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be like that.
No.
Imagine what everyone's panicking now about the coronavirus. Imagine if it was aliens we're talking about, not a bug. No, I'm not an advocate of full disclosure at all. And
no.
people can't handle.
Well, I don't even think that.
Not having toilet roll. You know what I mean? Like,
if you can't handle a toilet roll, you're not going to handle a little grey stud in your fucking bathroom. Yeah.
See, we all know because we've all seen it. Like been through it, and well, not all of us know. Some people don't. Skeptics, blah blah blah, whatever. But those of us who've seen it, we know, and it is like it's shocking, even if you believe it before. Like I believed it before because I'd seen something with my mum when I was like 12. So then it comes to 1997 to have it so close enough, like literally at your nostrils. So it's not like, oh, I always knew. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Everything that you know is ruptured. That is the biggest. That is the biggest secret ever.
Yeah.
I believe that they don't know, and I don't believe it's all ours. I don't.
No.
My body, my brain goes, you don't know that. The intellect says, you don't know these things. My body's going, yes, you do. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes. I don't know the nature of it, but I have to come to terms with the fact that I actually believe it's real. I've tried to sit on the fence and I've tried to extract myself from the moments, but I think that's partly trying to manage the trauma of it as well. Put yourself out of it, but you can't. But
that's what I do. How many times on Facebook have I said, I'm not talking about it anymore. And here we go.
I've off a few times, but you just can't because my whole body is alive with it. No matter what my brain tries to intellectualize, my whole body is alive with it. And I like to hide behind, I don't know. I like to hide behind, I'm just crazy. I don't like to think it's all real because that makes me go, no.
Yeah.
It's just a constant argument with myself. Literally. Intellectual debate versus the body shock remembering. Because I do want to know, and even if it's not like aliens or whatever, I want to know if it's people pretending to be aliens. I want to know, but it's not a thing, and I know that people.
If it's, how do they get here if it's people pretending to be aliens? I don't know. I always question it.
Part of it is the masquerade. I think part of it is the masquerade. But when you've had contact, they want to know what kind of contact. They want to know everything about what you've seen, felt, been through, had done to you. And I think that's what we'll call them my labs, but I don't know if it is the military. They wear uniform, let's just put it that way. If they come.
Yeah. Oh, I've just done what is it? What do they call it when he flicks his pen up?
Oh, San Roman. Oh, flying bubble.
Okay. Who did it?
Off.
It was an accident.
Talk to Audrey the alien, not everybody knows this. Stan Romanek and his friend Yari Mikola were to me about doing a festival in Edinburgh, like a UFO festival, and they told me that money from Coca-Cola sponsoring it and blah blah blah. and that Stan could get 3,000 bums on seats. I thought, you don't even get 300 in this country roll out. So anyway, it was going to be this huge symposium thing, loads of bullshit. And then one day when I was talking to them, there was an interruption, and Audrey the alien, who Sam talked to, she and said that the whole thing was going to be such a success that they were going to show up for Starseed, who is Stan. Like, there's going to be, they wanted like Whitley Strieber, Travis Walton, everyone there, but they were going to turn up for Stan, right? So this is like Wednesday afternoon, in something like midweek, midday, and I'm talking to an alien who's telling me this conference is going to be boss la. So and it was like a really metallic voice, Audrey the alien, and then I sent it to Dave, and Dave was like, that's actually a software that's called Audrey.
Really?
So he was like, it's a load of bollocks.
Oh,
I've got that recorded. And the conference never went ahead at all.
no.
Spinning loads of shit. Told me loads of shit. And then I just said, I actually did a little Facebook post saying, this is all bollocks. All of it. But, I just put it down, run away. Jesus Christ. Frauds. Now, truth ounce, doesn't it? When, people lie all the time and they have, stuff flying around. It's like kicking off like poltergeist in here. So, yeah, been on that. Right. Audrey the alien aside.
You what?
Audrey the alien aside, the Stan and his.
Yeah, Stan and Audrey.
Just flew across the room by itself. Oh God, I can't believe this shit goes on. Honest to God, though. What? The truth is so bizarre. You don't even need to make it up. Well, you do if you just. Oh, well. Anyway, right, okay. So is this where we get onto the flying thing?
Rugby ball.
Rugby ball.
It's not a rugby ball. So
yeah, fire away, because
right. This is real time, so I'm age 19, and this is what I doing at my mum's? What at my mum's? I must have been, because it's Kathy, who lived next door. Right, bruise on my arm there. You see it? Just noticed it. Anyway, Kathy, who lived next door, she wouldn't have been able to see it this side. So I don't know why we're at my mum's. She might have gone on holiday and now we're looking after house or something. And I was asleep. But next morning, Kathy was stood next door in her garden and she calls me over. Oh, come here. So I went over and I said, what's up? She says, I saw something right weird last night. I said, well, what did you see? She says, well, what it was, at first she said it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, because she always had an outside cigarette before she went to bed. And it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's right clear sky and that. And then she sees, like, it was dropping down this, like, rugby ball shape. And it said it was like a dull silver sort of colour.
Yeah.
And the way that as it was getting closer to over my house, dropping down, it were making that rugby ball sort of motion, when you kick it and it makes that like rugby ball motion. That's why I say it's a rugby ball sort of.
Yeah.
And as it drops, it then drops onto the roof on my roof and slowly goes down like that. And she said it was wide. It was as wide as a person would be. So for it to be that wide, it's going to that length as a person. It were pretty wide as well. To make it look like the rugby ball shape, because if it was wide as a person, as long as a person, it'd be slim, wouldn't it? But it wasn't, so obviously it was. Anyway, so it's dropped. It's really going really slow down my roof, and it gets to where the gutter is, and it kind of rolls up and then starts dropping down again. But it's really slow until it gets to outside my bedroom window. And it kind of just, I don't know. I really honestly can't remember whether she said she can't remember what happened or it went straight up. I really can't remember that bit. So that was that really. So I don't know. She said it did stay there for a few seconds. She couldn't take her eyes off it. But she was that overwhelmed with what she was seeing. It was, you know what I mean? So I really don't know whether she said it did go straight back up or she can't remember. I can't remember what she said after that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have a recollection of coming to and all sorts of activity going on around me. To my left at the back, there were 3 greys stood at a tall panel. It was a grey panel, it just came out like, I don't know what it had on it, but they were all on it. And
yeah.
I was stood in front of this thing that was like this shape. Hang on.
Right. Yeah.
And it was grey, like silvery grey. It was like shark skin. It was alive. I knew it was alive. But it didn't have a face. There was nothing, like not even where it might open up. But I know that it opens up. I knew when I was stood in front of it that was for me, that I was to get in that.
Yeah.
And that bit, I know, right. I don't know. It just, in my head, it's like a clam, but I can't say that I remember seeing that opening it or anything. But, like, I know that was like made out of shark skin and it was alive. And I was sitting in it.
That's weird.
If that was moving and spinning, that would look like a rugby ball shape as well, wouldn't it? Yeah. When it's not quite rugby ball shape because it was more like slightly more, a bit flat on the top and then down and then.
Yeah.
But it was.
Described it. I mean, it was dark. It was other side of the street. So I don't know whether she's just said it's a rugby ball shape. It could have had a flat top, a flat bottom, and been squashed in it.
Yeah.
But what she's saying is what I'm just repeating, and it stopped outside my bedroom window. So would it picking me up? Would it dropping me off? Would it just doing no surveillance? What,
Yeah. But when it just makes me wonder if that's part of how we get shuttled around, literally.
Yeah, but nothing in the night happened. I don't recall.
I mean, even now, it's just crazy. Sometimes my brain just starts to do all its own little speculations. And then, like, so at what point does it stop? And do I stand up and get in it? Do I?
Yeah.
How the hell does any of it actually happen? I don't know.
Can't even answer that. I don't know. Silent.
Yeah, well, you see, there's like 80 billion questions going, answer me in my head right now. So I had to tell you that bit because I think
it's just a bit.
I want to know if anyone else has ever seen anything like it. This is why we're doing this anyway, or partly why I'm doing it, is because I know
Question.
that everyone's going to believe us. Like, I don't blame people for not believing us. This
I
is
don't care.
ridiculous.
Oh,
But
let me get something here, right? When people used to talk about reptilians, and I used to think, yeah, right. People used to talk about, but Bigfoot, and I used to go, yeah, right. And then when I look at myself and I think, hang on, here's me talk about fucking aliens. No wonder they're thinking, yeah, right. you know?
Absolutely, yeah. We know how we sound, but it's a case of, there's other people out there. Look at what happened when we met.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I was in hell. I was in hell. There's the grace coming, interfering with my family, and then you turned up and you'd had all that, and then
Hey, family.
but we've really helped each other.
We have. Definitely.
Because you question your sanity every single second of every single day,
Yeah.
and it's just
And
exhausting.
that's in isolation. I am questioning my sanity.
Nobody could question my sanity more times than I have. I mean, I've thrown myself in front of so many doctors, and they're just going, "You're not mad. You ought to be working in this profession." You know what I mean? I put myself in hospital because I just thought I'm a crazy person. I must be schizophrenic or something, and I'm seeing things, hearing things.
Hey, I
I must
nearly
be mad.
lost me.
Yeah.
Lost my job, people. I nearly lost my job because of an interview with the place I work for.
Because you put exopolitics as an interest on your hobbies and interests, just exopolitics, not alien.
Because basically, when you go to an interview, you're going to talk a load of shite anyway, just to get that job. But I'm being truthful. I'm sick of saying, "Oh yeah, I go to play tennis. Oh yeah, I go to gym, play golf, go swimming." You know what I mean? And I was sick of bullshitting my way through it. So I thought, you know what? I go to this interview, but it's within the company that I work for because it's all different departments. So I go to this interview and, say what I do and hobbies and interests. And one of my interests, my first time ever, where I said exopolitics, well, this panel of three are like bemused. What the hell's that? So I had to go into detail of what it was, studying life on other planets, or you know what I mean, any possibilities that are there. So by the end of the interview, I don't even think we finished the interview because they were more interested in why I'd think like this and what I was going through, So I gets back to work. A week later, I gets a phone call off my boss. Can I have a word with you? Come on. For some reason, I knew what were going to be said. I just knew. I knew what were going to happen. And but yeah, all week it played on my mind. And I've just come out of that interview, done my own thing. I ain't bothered about it or all. So yeah, it gets his phone call. Can you come in when you finished your work? Want to see you? So I goes in. I said, I don't know what it's about. And she says, what is it? So I told her about the interview. And she went, oh, it said that God, what words? They
said that
mental health problems. We're concerned that one of your staff who came for an interview, blah, 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 mental health problems. And
they didn't think that you were fit to do the job that you were doing.
That I've been doing for 10 years. Luckily, I have a boss that appreciates the work I do and has no problem with me whatsoever. And to the point of when she told the interview panel what she exactly thought of them. you know, if this had been any other boss that wasn't like mine.
Well, she
what
arranged a meeting, didn't she, so that you
I
could see them
I
face to face.
yeah, well, I said I want to take this further,
You should
and
have sued
said,
them,
"You
you
should
know.
that." Pardon? What do you say, love?
Sued them. You should have sued them. Told you that all
I
along. You'd have been a
know,
brilliant traffic warden.
I know I should have sued them, but anyway, but so I said I want to take this further. So it was like first week it got cancelled, and then second week come, they only one of them turned up, and so where the other two, the two chicken shit to face me because they knew what they'd done. So I sat with about 8 people in an office with this one of these people that interviewed me, and these what they call it, where they take notes, what the shorthand and
Stenographer.
our stuff, yeah. And basically, I said I want to know why one of you rang my boss and said that I'm incapable of doing my job, that you don't even know what my job entails, but I'm incapable of doing it. That why? You said you think I've got mental health problems, so therefore I'm not capable of doing my job. And he went, well, you talked about this and other. So my boss who sat next to me's got her hand on my knee, you know what I mean? So she's kind of, you know, tapping me like, calm down, because every time I rose my voice, like, calm down, basically. So I said, I want an apology. So I said, you were expecting my boss to side with you. I says, well, pissed on your bonfire because she sided with me. I says, and as a boss, you should have more of an open mind. I says, so I said to him, look, I says, he's a Muslim guy. I'm not against Muslims. I'm not against Christians. Be whatever you want to be. I says, but as a person, I said, you believe in God? He said, yeah. So I says, so I've got nothing against you believing in God. So I said, so what makes you think I've got mental health problems? Because I see aliens. So, you know, how can you judge me when you're sat there praying to someone that you haven't even seen? You know, I can't. So he didn't know what to say. So I said, all I want is an apology. And he wangled his way out of it and out of it and out of it until he said, I'm sorry. So I said, I can't hear you. I said, I can't hear you. And my boss kind of tapped me on the knee as if to say, give up. You know what I mean? So he said, I'm sorry for what I did or what we did or whatever. So that was end of that. So I said, you know what? End of it, I just said, oh, fuck it. So I just kind of pushed the table away, stood up and walked out. Well, my boss followed me and she said, look, Paula, you did really, really well in there. She said, I'm surprised you kept your cool that long, you know. That she said, I'm on your side and you do a brilliant job. So that was that. She said, yeah, I should have sued arse off them, but.
And you know why I know that they were culpable of something? Because they removed that question from the from any forms in applications for jobs, haven't they? They've taken it out. Like, what are your hobbies and interests? So they know that they're messed up big time.
Yeah. It's like one day as well when we have to do every year. We have to do these health and safety, like manual handling and child protection and all these courses, first aid and all these courses that we have to do. And we used to get this piece of paper and it said, how do you rate your training person? Is it trainee or trainer or whatever? It was just, you know what I mean? So it gave you like 1 to 5 on a score of 1 to 5. Did he teach you good, or Did you understand what he was saying? So everyone were putting 5, because every time we got our worksheet back, even though we'd done it all right, it was never good enough. He graded it as a 4, because he said that there's all. I said, why have you graded us all at a 4 when we've all done it perfect, answered every question perfect, right, not one question wrong? And he said, because there's always room for improvement. So this particular time, when it's turn, so I'm filling it in. How did your training go? Did you understand what he was saying? Did you this? So I gave him it, and I put a 4. So he looked at it and he says, what have you put a 4 for? I says, Paul, there's always room for improvement. Oh, class started laughing. A year later, as well, when we got the questions through, he graded ours, and I said, well, where's ones to grade you? He says, oh, we don't do it anymore. Oh, why? Oh, dear.
Right, let's get back to aliens.
We've got a fit, yeah. We've got a bit of humour to fit in there, you know. So go mad humour.
Yeah, gone mad with it, gone mad without it. So it's flying alien beach party time.
Right, hang on. I am making a cigarette. This is quite a long one, people. So this involves a man with a stiff suit that looks like it's made out of bloody cardboard. Anyway, it were comical. Anyway, so I'd gone to bed, and I don't even remember going to, drifting off or out like that. But next minute, I'm walking out at the top of my street. I can feel the cold. It's not cold, but that summer cold breeze that you have on a night, and you're like, oh, that's lovely. You know what I mean? And I gets to Endert Road, and directly over other side of Main Road is what you call Drake-up Road. And my old friend used to live on there. So I'm seeing loads of people, I'm seeing loads of people, and I'm seeing 2 wagons, and them wagons that bring like building materials, and they have like sand in bags and yeah, it was them, 2 of them. And one were carrying water and other were carrying sand. But the one, they were on the flatbed itself, so the water was just there. How it didn't leak out, I don't know. So anyway, I remember they tipping it up like this. And so they dumped some sand here, there's sand there, sand there. But the water went like a big paddling pool, children's paddling pool. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I sees my friend, and she said, oh, we're having a beach party, you coming? Right. So it was like, wow, and there's loads of people and loads of kids running about. I remember kids, and so I kind of joins in and mingles with them, but it's like as if nobody could see me again, that sort of thing. But I'm seeing all these people and kids and people that I've never seen before. And I sits down and I'm playing in sand with a bucket and spade and making sandcastles and that. And some of these beach balls are flying about and music's on and everyone's having a laugh, and but when I sat down, it felt like I'd gone back to being a child. You know that when you sit down and you make a sandcastle, I hadn't done this since I was 6 or something. But it was that moment I sat down and it just felt like I were a little child, not because I were playing in sand or making sandcastles. It was just the way that we're feeling, that I were like a child then. So I see this man coming from where I just come from on Main Road, and he's really, really, really tall. And I remember him, his hair's all slick back like that. And it's blonde, well, white. It's probably like mine, actually. But it's like behind his ears and to about there. Anyway, I remember him, he was immaculate. His face were immaculate. It's not that sort of look when, you fancy someone. It's even though they're absolutely beautiful, we're absolutely beautiful, it were not like a fancying sort of, where you just see somebody and you think, God, nice. He didn't thoughts at all. And as he's coming towards me, I thought he was walking a bit very straight, stiff. There's about, I'd say we're about 7 foot tall. And he's got this, what looked like a blue, really dark blue suit on. I don't remember a tie. I don't remember a tie at all. Might have been one, I don't know. But it's got this suit on and it's blue. And it's got like white pinstripes and black shoes. I remember black shoes, right? Shiny black shoes. And but when you bend, when you bend your arms and you've got clothes on, it gets that crease. Same at back of your knees. You're going to get creases in a suit. Even. Oh, but this guy didn't. And the shoulders were that square. They didn't even go down like that. They were square.
Yeah. Right.
So everything looked cardboard cut out. It looked like he's got this piece of cardboard and he's managed to somehow get in away. You know what I mean? And he's walking up. And I'm thinking, wow, but he were walking stiff as well. It wasn't like he were bending. But as he were bending, his back of his legs, his suit wasn't even bending. His trousers, he was stiff as well. And he kind of walked that way, looking straight forward. Nobody had noticed him except me. So I'm looking up at him, and he stopped right in front of me and looks down. And he went, "Have you ever been flying?" And I went, "No." Me thinking aeroplanes. I said, "No, I'm scared of flying." So he said, "Well, do you want to go flying?" But it were telepathic. "Do you want to go flying?" And I went, "No, I'm scared of flying. It's the only flying I knew." You know what I mean? And he went, "No." And he kind of looked at me and went, "No, not." Now, I think he's gone into my mind somehow then. And he said, "No, not that kind of flying." So I went, "Well, what else? What else flying is there?" I mean, I was talking telepathically back to him. "What else sort of flying is there?" He said, "Come with me and I'll show you." And I trusted him, 100% trusted him. There were nothing there were no thing to say that don't trust him, don't do that. That, to be honest, it didn't even cross my mind. So I just went along with him. So through the crowd, that were playing beach ball and playing music and dancing and eating and we just walked straight through and they didn't see us. Still didn't see us. So it gets to end at Snicket where school is. This is only over road. And at Snicket, and he says, "Do you want to go flying?" And for some reason, I didn't look. He stood next to me, but I didn't look at him. I was just too focused in going that way. And I couldn't understand it, but I was relaxed enough to go through whatever we're going to go through. But anyway, so I said, "Yeah." He says, "Right." He said, "Close your eyes, and if you want, you can hold my hand." So I went, "Okay." So I held his hand, closed my eyes. He said, "You're gonna," but as I've closed them, he's telling me you're gonna feel really light, like you're gonna lose your body weight. You're not going to feel how light you are, or you're just going to lose it. You know what I mean? There's not going to be no weight there or whatever. And so I just stood there. Next minute, it feels like my weight's just coming off me, and I could feel I was lifting. I've got my eyes shut. I had to keep my eyes shut, and it just feels like I'm floating up very slowly. And when I looked down, I was leaning forward, and I was like, oh, but I'm still coming up. You know what I mean? It's weird. And it says, if it makes you feel more comfortable, when we're floating, we're starting to float forward very slow. And he said, if it makes you feel more comfortable, put your arms in front of you. But because I was holding his arm, I can't do that. I'd let go and fall. You know what I mean? So I put one arm in front and carried on holding his hand. And I got to treetop height. And then we're following the snicket through. And I see a few leaves blowing about. I remember seeing a mouse running out at wall and then further down into a little bit. And still a party going on behind me. And then we're coming to a light in snicket. And then I just thought, and I kind of just went like that. And I looked at him. And when I looked at him, it was a grey. It was no longer this person in this pinstripe suit with blonde hair that was slicked back. It was a little grey, and I was a bit startled by it. And he held my hand tighter because I must have thought I was going to fall or something. I was a bit, if I go like I'm going to go off balance, but he held on tighter. And he just and then I felt at ease then, and we just glided through this snicket, and I could feel breeze through my hair and on my skin, and it felt lovely. Not to be scared of, it was lovely. It was just one of those dream experiences, you know what I mean? But I know it wasn't a dream because I was feeling it all. Everything was there. As I got nearer end at snicket, I just started blacking out then, and that was it.
You told me that he told you that you had to remember how to do this.
To remember, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you have to remember how to do it.
To remember.
Today, I'm forgetting fucking things as I'm getting older. So yeah, I have to remember, and I've never done it since. So why?
Yeah, I just found that. I was listening to Philip Kinsella saying that he was actually stood in this opening on this spaceship, and his grey was like expecting him to kind of jump out or whatever and maybe fly down. But Phil was just completely traumatized and started crying because he didn't know what to do. And it seemed that they were confused at the fact that he didn't know what to do. So maybe in a kind of like blanked out states, those activities are not a problem. But when we're kind of conscious and aware of what's going on, and in our monkey brain, which freaks out at everything, then can't remember, like Phil's like, how on earth can we go through solid walls and
the window glass up, and it was straight through glass. But
well, I went through a wall at Brenda Butler's. Well, I'm assuming I did, because when I got pulled by my feet down the bed, there was a brick wall, so I don't know how I couldn't have moved that far down when I would have literally slammed into a brick wall with my feet. So I don't know. Frequency modulation to change the manner of matter. They must have it first. Well, they must have it first.